Fuck. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages. It's that time once again. It's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. And it's 6 o'clock, and you're locked in right here for a good show. Good show. So one of the stories we're going to do today, I actually meant to do on the last show. The title of the last show, we never did the title story. So the title of the last show was Natural Beauty, and we had a related story. We're going to be kind of covering that. We're going to be covering a lot of things from airplanes to ships and bridges and we're also going to be doing the gender crazy of the week. As always, it's Wednesday, as we always do. For those folks out there in the chat, I'm not seeing anyone in the chat yet. Maybe because, I tempted fate and I bragged about not being kicked from Nick Ricada's locals chat where I'd been advertising my streams. Even though I had quit paying, I bragged on my last show, and of course, I no longer have access to Nick Ricada's locals. But anyone out there, come on in, say hello in the chat, whether it be on YouTube or Rumble or even on X. We're on all three of those platforms today. I think maybe this weekend I might try my hand at doing another Rumble Studio, switching from the StreamYard to the Rumble Studio. I might try that this weekend. Maybe not, but it's something I've been meaning to check out again to see if some of the bugs that I was having a problem with have been worked out. But anyone in the chat on any of those three platforms, come in, say hello. I'll give you a toast. I'll give you a cheers. Drinking the Angels Envy finished rye. Ooh, spicy. And I'll give you a toast and show your message on the screen. And you can be a part of the community here. Be a part of the community here on Mild's Culture Plate. So let's get into the news. Let's start with this. I'm bringing this story up mostly because one of the video games I play quite frequently is Hitman. And at the beginning of Hitman, there's this tutorial where the newer Hitman game, they call it a trilogy, but it's really they've kind of built it all into one engine, one game with three experiences in it, and it's really one long story. But so the newer Hitman game, if you play through it, the very beginning of the game, you go through this tutorial level where you have to rig a military jet for the ejection seat to malfunction and kill a guy. And real life has now imitated art in Texas. Shepherd Air Force Base, an Air Force instructor pilot has died after his ejection seat went off while on the ground. The instructor, Captain John Robertson, was training with the 80th Flying Training Wing. The instructor was in a T-6A Texan II when the ejection seat activated during a ground operation, and he died from injuries sustained. So our condolences go out, as this says, Colonel Mitchell Koch, the wing commander, said in a statement, "This is a devastating loss. for his family and loved ones, and for the entire 80th. Captain Robertson was a highly valued airman and instructor pilot. Our deepest condolences go with all who knew and loved him. I will likewise send my condolences out to the family of Captain Robertson. It's pretty crazy when you're taken out in something that literally resembles a video game scene. It's it sounds horrific. So there was another tragedy in Texas today. There was a barge that collided with the Pelican Island Causeway Bridge. A shipping barge has again hit a bridge, and it says it causes damage and an oil spill. A bridge has collided with Pelican Causeway in Galveston, damaging the bridge, closing the roadway to all vehicular traffic and causing an oil spill. And as you could see from the picture here, it's also a rail bridge, and it basically took out the railroad. Video obtained by KHOU appears to show that part of the train trestle that runs across the bridge has collapsed. The barge, with Galveston Office of Emergency Management, said on social media is owned by Martin Petroleum, remains at the site of the collision. Emergency management officials have responded to the scene along with members of Galveston Police and Fire Department, U.S. Coast Guard, and the Texas Department of Transportation. The collision caused an oil spill in the bay. U.S. Coast Guards responding to the spill will determine its extent and initiate containment and cleanup process. Galveston Office of Emergency Management said that vacuum gas oil, which can be used to make transportation fuels and other byproducts, had been visually confirmed in the water, and said that 6.5 miles of intercoastal waterway had been closed. The barge had a capacity of about 30,000 gallons. The amount that leaked out is unknown. The collision also led to a brief power outage on Pelican Island. Galveston officials said on social media, secondary power has been restored. The bridge connects Pelican Island, a community of about 9,000 people, to Galveston, Texas. Pelican Island is also home to Texas A&M University at Galveston. Officials said engineers from the Texas Department of Transportation will inspect the roadway and determine if there is damage. The bridge will remain closed until it's deemed safe to use. The incident comes almost 7 weeks after a vessel rammed into the Key Bridge in the port of Baltimore, killing 6 construction workers. And there have also been a couple of other ships running into bridges lately. So this seems to be happening over and over again. Pretty fucking creepy, if you ask me. How the fuck is this happening over and over again? Well, the National Transportation Safety Board is starting to get some kind of idea. This is from CNN. Cargo ship outages on the day before the Baltimore Bridge collision may have impacted the ship's operations, NTSB says. The cargo ship Dolly experienced 2 blackouts while moored in the port of Baltimore a day before its catastrophic collision with the Scott Key Bridge. And efforts to resolve those blackouts may have impacted the ship's operations, the head of the National Transportation Safety Board said in a congressional hearing Wednesday. After the 2 in-port blackouts on March 25th, the ship's crew had switched to a different transformer and set of breakers from those that had been in use for several months, according to NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy. That may have impacted the ship's operations when it left port a day later. Switching breakers is not unusual, but may have affected operations the very next day on the accident voyage. The comments, which further context the focus of the NTSB investigation, came during a hearing for the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, reviewing and analyzing the federal response to the collapse on March 26th. On Tuesday, the NTSB released a 24-page preliminary report detailing investigators' early findings. Dolly struck the bridge, bringing down a 1.6 mile long structure, killing 6 construction workers, severing access to the ports, blah, 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 blah. The preliminary report does not conclude a probable cause. Those findings will be part of a final report that can take up to 2 years to complete. Hey, we got Shut Up I Can Cook over on YouTube in the chat. Welcome and cheers. She said she found racism in locals today. No, not a chance. There would be no way anyone would just go on the internet and be racist. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. White men scared of women. Well, yeah, because we are. Because all we have to do is piss a woman off and we get hashtag me too'd, right? Yeah. Being scared of women is not stupid. It's it happens. So in economic news, we have from the New York Post, McDonald's confirms a $5 value meal to lure back low-income customers after price hikes. I also saw another New York Post article that was talking about some McDonald's locations, a few of them, also eliminating the free refills. We now have free refills is a problem for McDonald's. I know y'all scared of them, but I'm not. Well, yeah, because you're a woman. You're not going to get me too'd by another woman. So McDonald's confirmed that it will roll out a limited $5 combo meal this summer in hopes of enticing inflation-battered customers who've stayed away after fast food chains spiked prices. Now, you may remember a couple weeks ago, there was this viral secret McDonald's secret $7 value, right? That had a couple drinks. And anyway, so that probably, yeah, that probably led to this, right? The success and the virality of this cheap McDonald's deal. Now they're just going to openly, cut some prices here. This company said it would announce a month-long promotion starting June 25th. Diners can choose from 4 items. I'm not going to read that because I'm not going to do their promotion for them. They've come under fire after some locations were charging $18 for a Big Mac meal and $7.29 for an Egg McMuffin. McDonald's raised prices by mid to high single-digit percentages over the year in response to rise in costs of eggs and other raw items. It also hiked prices in California when the state imposed a $20 an hour minimum wage for fast food workers. Oh, but I was told that has nothing to do with high prices. Raising minimum wage? No. Corporations should just eat that cost, right? Anyway, so you have that. Inflation news. McDonald's to return some $5 meals. So the Justice Department, also in the New York news here, New York Times, the Justice Department has said that Boeing violated the settlement over 737 MAX problems. They've had failed to design and enforce compliance and ethics program to prevent a violation of fraud laws. The Department of Justice said on Tuesday Boeing was in violation of a 2021 settlement related to problems with the 737 MAX that led to 2 deadly plane crashes in 2018 and 2019. They failed to design, implement, and enforce a compliance and ethics program to prevent and detect violations of fraud laws in the company's operations. Creating a program was a condition of the settlement, which also carried a $2.5 billion penalty. The determination by the Justice Department opens the door to a potential prosecution of a 2021 criminal charge accusing Boeing of a conspiracy to defraud the FAA through Boeing, though Boeing can contest Tuesday's decision. In a statement, Boeing said the company believed it had honored the terms of the settlement, adding that it was looking forward to the opportunity to respond. Great Liquor said, "What the dollar menu is now the $5 menu. What a value." Well, okay, let me go back to the story real quick. I wasn't going to show this, but I do have to be a little fair to McDonald's. Uh, so it's going to have a sandwich, fries, and a drink. So while the dollar menu was one item at $1 a piece, you could buy this for $3, right? Everything you see here, you could buy for $3, and now it's 5. Well, I guess it'd be 4. Okay, so you got a sandwich, small fry, small drink, and a 4-piece nugget for $5. So this is kind of like the 4 for 4 over at Wendy's that's now called Biggie Bag because it's now $6. McDonald's is doing something similar for $5 now. So, what you could once get for $4, they're now charging 5. So, the dollar menu is kind of back, but it's like $1.25, and you have to buy 4 items to get them for $1.25 a piece. But yeah, what a value. I mean, everything is just crippling. And yet I have people on my Twitter feed telling me that our economy is relatively stable and that there's nothing wrong with fiat currency. Oh, folks. Anyway, Boeing said, as we do so, we will engage with the department with the utmost transparency as we have through the entire term of the agreement. Justice Department declined to comment. Paul G. Castle, a lawyer representing families of the victims of fatal plane crashes, said his clients were planning to meet with the government on May 31st. Oh. Cookie says, "Mild, what are you talking about?" I'm talking about Boeing. Boeing, we've recently had a bunch of court cases with Boeing and some whistleblowers who were set to testify who have died, and now the Justice Department has come out and said that Boeing was supposed to implement a compliance and ethics program to ensure their own quality control, and they still have not done so. And so the fact that we're still seeing these manufacturing flaws in their planes has created this big issue. And now, they could be liable for this $2.5 billion penalty here. The crashes of 737 MAX 8 planes in Indonesia and Ethiopia killed 346 people, prompting the FAA to ground the entire 737 MAX fleet. An investigation found that both crashes involved mistaken triggering of a maneuvering system designed to help avert stalls in flight. Another settlement, Securities and Exchange Commission said that Boeing had offered misleading reassurances about the safety of the 737 MAX in public statements after both crashes, despite knowing that the maneuvering system had a continuing safety issue. Boeing fired Mr. Muhlenberg, whose performance during the crisis angered lawmakers and alienated victims' families. So here we go. So Boeing still being Boeing. All right, folks. Let's get into some more fun news. Have you folks? I'm sure you've seen the news. Last Friday, they kicked off this video feed between Dublin and New York, referred to as the portal. And now it has been suspended. This is from the BBC. This is an opinion piece from Kevin Sharkley. Dubliners have been expressing annoyance over this temporary suspension of a live video portal between Dublin and New York. The continuous live stream, which allows users in each city to see each other and interact, was switched off Tuesday due to quote unquote inappropriate behavior. On Wednesday, a message on the blank screen stated, "Portal is asleep, back up soon." Incidents, which have been shared extensively across social media, involved users mooning, displaying swear words, and flashing various body parts. One Dubliner user displayed a video of the 9/11 attacks in New York. I'm not going to click these. These are links to some of the the interesting videos that you can find. Feel free to check that to just type Dublin, New York on Twitter, and you'll get a ton of these. The artist behind the installation has appealed for family-friendly behavior from visitors. I think everyone should think of a 7-year-old child that is in New York that wants to experience and wants to connect to Dublin and wave to people there. Mr. Gillis told Irish broadcaster RTE. So that was my only request for the lovely people of Ireland. Yes, because it's the Irish people who, who have some degeneracy problems. Speaking beside the installation, Lucy Skymore O'Gorman told BBC News NI. What the fuck is BBC News NI? Northern Ireland? That there had been a disgraceful behavior from a minority of users. There's no need for it. He's just ruining the fun for everyone else, she said. He had brought her younger sister to the portal, and they were very disappointed to see it suspended. I've shown her the videos, and she's very excited to see it. Okay, the little girl wanted to see some chick's boobs from New York. That's what this is. I showed her the video. The videos are people's butts and titties. Come on. What the hell is going on with my fucking... Oh, okay. I got hair on my desk. My optical mouse was picking up my hair. Cookie says, mild, men must stop being scared of women. What in God's name is wrong with y'all? And Great Liquor says, that's humans being humans, rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. Unacceptable, excuse me. Yeah, so again, I guess this is a temporary suspension. Hopefully they'll bring it back, and maybe they'll add some kind of AI that can blur out nipples or something. Don't know. Let me do something real quick. It appears I'm getting some Twitter notifications. Okay. I'm not going to get into a debate with some guy. Cookie says, I think Mild is drunk. Oh, you know what? I am drunk because did I give Great Liquor a cheers? Cheers, brother. Good seeing you. I'm lacking on my game, guys. All right. Let's get into some of these. Can you do a ponytail with your hair? Not right this moment. Maybe while we're watching one of these videos later, if I could find a ponytail holder here. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get into some videos. Let's get in some viral videos. I want to know what you folks think of this young lady.
I always joke about how like I leave a snail trail everywhere I go. If I'm in gym clothes especially, it seeps through so bad. It's on every seat that I sit on, whatever. Even in high school, this was like a thing. But
she leaves a snail trail wherever she goes. Now, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the vernacular, but if someone happens to be watching and they don't understand what a young lady means when she talks about a snail trail, if you've ever watched a snail crawling down a sidewalk, it leaves behind a trail of slime. This woman is referring to her vaginal wetness. Sanglant86 over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome, brother. Anybody get the tag number of that truck? Storm. I'm assuming it's storming where Sanglant86 is. And, you know, I did want to give a shout out after talking about all those tragedies in Texas. I did want to give a shout out to Texas, particularly the Gulf Coast and on over to Florida. Here they're going to be hammered with rain after being continuously hammered with rain, and there might be some dangerous flooding and some severe storms that may require some hunkering down and potential evacuation. So prayers go out to everyone out there that the weather predictions are overblown, hopefully, and that everyone is safe. Okay, so yes, this woman is referring to her vaginal wetness, and she's going to describe some detail here. So Uh, pardon. Cookie wants me to put my Rumble link in the chat. Let's see. Where can I do that? I can do that right here, in fact. Although it should be in the description of the video there. It should be in the description of the video because Cookie wants to beat Sanglant up. So there it is. That's the link to the Rumble chat. And again, the link to all my social media is down in the description. I'd appreciate anyone clicking. Okay, so let's get back to this woman's vagina.
But I knew it was really bad when today at Pilates, we were sitting on the reformer and we were doing like a little swimming thing.
Okay, wait a minute. Now I have to do this. I have to look up what let's see, Pilates reformer. I don't know what a reformer is. Okay, it's this bench thing. This is a reformer. This is a Pilates reformer. Okay, so she was sitting on this thing, right? And then what happened?
Things, and I touched down, and when I stood back up into a like more standing position, my instructor like jokingly was
She
like,
left a
"I
wet
got you
spot."
guys sweating on that reformer, especially you," meaning me. I wasn't sweating. That was just just trailing, just sliming that machine up. And I was like, yeah. So I sat down, like, did the white forward thing. But like, also, she shouldn't have called me out because it's like fucking shady. Like, I feel like she knew that, like, obviously it wasn't sweat, but like, whatever. But even at the gym and stuff, like,
Okay, but why would she know that wasn't sweat? I mean, here's the thing. There are women who don't get that wet down there until they get sweaty, right? This is a thing. Now again, I'm no gynecologist, but I do know that there are women whose fupa area and whose taint area gets sweatier when they work up a sweat. Cookie wants to know who Great Liquor is. You should subscribe to Great Liquor. Follow Great Liquor. Great Liquor's got good advice.
I have to literally like carry a towel and like wipe that shit off. And it's not even embarrassing. It's just like, why?
It's not even embarrassing, just like why? Well, I think it is embarrassing, and that's part of the problem here. That's part of the problem here. Also, what's embarrassing is be careful who you marry, folks. Be careful who you marry. Hey, you got Great Liquor saying hello to Sanglant and Shut Up I Can Cook. And Sanglant saying, hey, love bringing people together on Rumble. And welcome to Rumble, Cookie. Rumble is an amazing place. I love YouTube in some ways, but I hate YouTube in other ways. And Rumble, Rumble's such a beautiful place to breathe. It's like, I love Las Vegas, but I also love like going out in nature and just hearing fucking silence and crickets and like the lake splashing against the bank. Okay. So yeah, be careful who you marry. It might wind up being someone like this.
A few weeks ago, I said I don't do my husband's laundry. And a lot of people are saying, whoa, 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 those are small acts of kindness. Why wouldn't you want to do that for your partner? But here's the thing, small acts of kindness that are mostly domestic labor just.
Hey, there it is. She said the thing. Okay, so I that's the reason for the title of the video is this woman here. It's just domestic labor. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I'm going to hold on to him for just a moment. I'm going to let her cook just a little bit.
Just add up to work at the end of the day. So here's a list of things that I don't do for my husband. You all know I don't do his laundry. He can do that himself. I do my laundry and we do the kids' laundry.
We do the kids' laundry. Okay, so here's the thing. I do my own laundry. I don't have a problem doing my own laundry, and I don't have a problem doing certain things for myself. I'm an adult. A lot of guys are like that. Again, every relationship's different. Every relationship has different kind of unspoken rules. There was a time around 2004, 2005 that I started getting a little more protective over my clothes, and I wouldn't let my ex-wife wash them. I felt a little weird about having my ex-wife wash them because we both worked full time. I didn't need her to take care of me on top of doing her job, and I would occasionally do her laundry, but again, those were special occasions where she was just too fucking busy. And this woman's going to address the too fucking busy idea, but it's the overall attitude here. And so you have the commenter here saying to her, you know, never do any acts of kindness for your partner. If you're in a healthy relationship with your man, you should be doing these things, and not, without him expecting it. Cookie says Mild was married. Yes, I was married. I was married for, let's see, what's 2006 to 2022, however many years that is. And then I was with her from 2000 to 2022. So, fun times.
But he does his own. I don't cook dinner. He cooks dinner every single night. I do breakfast and lunch for us and our kids. I don't pack him a lunch.
Okay, you notice she's not talking about working full time. It sounds like she doesn't have a job because she just said she makes lunch for her and the kids. So if she's home to eat lunch with the kids, it doesn't sound like she's bringing in money. I think this is an important factor here.
He's hungry, he'll figure out what he's going to eat for lunch the same way that I do. I don't make his doctor's appointments because guess what? He's not making mine. Would it be kind of me to do that? For sure. Is it my job?
Okay, but who's paying the bill for your doctor's appointments? Who's paying the copay? Who's providing the insurance? Is it the government or is it your husband? I think that's an important factor. You won't call and help make his medical appointments because, quote, he doesn't do that for you. But are you paying his medical bills or is he paying yours, or how's that working?
Absolutely not. I want him to be healthy, but he's a grown ass man and he can book his own appointments, right? There's a lot of things that I don't do for my husband. I don't schedule
like go to work.
I don't pack his clothes for vacation. Right?
You don't
I
pay
don't
the
do
light
those
bill.
things. I don't buy him new underwear when it's got holes in it. All of those are things that he's a grown man and he can do himself.
And you're a grown woman. You could pay your fucking phone bill.
And I do. I see a vinyl that I think
You
he's
could
going to
pay
like.
your
He's
internet
creating
bill.
a vinyl collection. I buy it.
Oh, okay. You buy him a record from the record store and maybe some food. Oh, come on. Cookie says, Mild, y'all men confusing us women. I want to be a housewife, but it is frowned upon. Dear God. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I mean, granted, these weirdos nowadays, the kind of people that we're criticizing on this show, yeah, it's frowned upon by these idiots. But no, being a housewife is awesome.
Store and I see something that I think he might enjoy eating. I buy it. I find a new non-alcoholic beer that he wants to try out. I buy it. Right? Those are small acts of kindness. Doing his laundry, cooking him dinner, making him lunch, booking his doctor's appointments, all those things, that's domestic labor. Those are chores. Those are not acts of kindness.
Domestic labor.
Do I do them occasionally when he's working a lot? Of course. Do I cook dinner sometimes when he's had a really long day? Of course. But me not doing that does not mean that I don't show him love or kindness. They're different things.
Wow.
It is not my job as a wife. It is not in my job description to do all the domestic labor as small acts of kindness to my partner and receive nothing in return. I agree with this commenter. If it's going both ways, fantastic. But oftentimes, domestic labor, especially when you have children, adds up. And so, no, I am not my husband's
especially when you have
secretary
children.
or his personal assistant. I am none of those things. I am his partner. I am his equal, and I do not have to do things to cater to him.
Okay, so translation, because I'm already doing these things for the kids, I refuse to do that for him because I blame him for me having to do it for the kids. He says, if he owns his business, show up and give him loving for lunch. Yeah. Don't underestimate the nooner, right? Although I did see another viral clip this week that I did not include in the show today, where a woman was complaining that she sent her husband a text of her singing this song that's like, why don't you come home and fuck me in the ass or something like that. Anyway. And then his reply was, I would, but I'm fucking working to provide for our family right now. I can't. And it's like, okay, yeah, sometimes a nooner is not appropriate, but yeah. And then Cookie says, "Ho, you not as equal." Yeah, exactly.
him and serve him at all times to be kind and loving for him. A few weeks
Okay, so look, hang on. I wasn't gonna do this, but let me do this. This was something I ran into this morning. Yeah, I meant to. Yeah, I actually was gonna do this, and then I decided not to, but now I'm deciding to do it. So let's do this. Go out of full screen. Go away, folks. I wasn't gonna do this, but I've got to do it now because that last video pissed me off. That last video pissed me off, and Cookie's got a point here. Sometimes not appropriate, but you have to know when and how to do it. Exactly. So, you all are familiar with Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire, right? His wife, and again, I don't mean to shit on a guy's wife, but she's got her own social media. And quite frankly, she has some of the dumbest takes I have ever read on Twitter. And so let's bring this up here. This is at No Super Knowles, Michael Knowles' wife. I forget her first name. Calling out the red pill here. Now, granted, she's been going in hard on pearly things and people like Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate. And so she makes this post, red pill, we're anti-degeneracy. We want to marry 16-year-olds and also stop trying to raise the age requirement for strippers to 21. And also, why won't women vote with us? Okay. So I want to point something out here. This is your classic straw man. Now, how can you identify as this as the easiest identification of a straw man? There's no links to any of this shit. There is literally no links to any of this shit. Any of these quotes, hello, can we get some receipts here for any of these quotes? And also, even if these quotes existed, are they all the same person? Who is Red Pill? Red Pill's not a person. It's a whole fucking movement of people. I have literally never heard a single red pillar say, "Why won't women vote with us?" You know why? Because most red pillars say women aren't mature enough to vote. That women will always vote horribly. That's what red pillars say. I don't necessarily say that myself. I think there are a lot of smart women out there, and I do like, you know, I do think there is a society somewhere, a perfect world, so to speak, a utopia where women are smart enough, where women are responsible enough, but that's not this society. And so again, okay, now let's go on up the line here. Stop trying to raise the age requirement for strippers to be 21. Now there were a lot of people down in the comments saying, "Are red pillars really worried about strippers?" No, no. In fact, red pillars would mock women for needing a law to tell them to keep their pants on. That's literally all red pillars are saying with this. This is again a straw man, a misinterpretation, if you will. This is not good faith arguing. We want to marry 16-year-olds. Legitimately, none of us. No, we don't want to marry. Red pill and marry in the same sentence? No, we don't want to marry. But the argument is that 16-year-olds, women, that there's little difference between a 16-year-old and a 23-year-old, and that the difference between a 40-year-old and a 16-year-old is there is a beauty difference there, right? Not that we want to marry them. We don't want to marry them. We don't want to have sex with 16-year-olds. We're not perverts. And then, yeah, we're anti-degeneracy. Yes, we legitimately are anti-degeneracy. And again, I say we. And again, I went on this rant a couple weeks ago about how, well, if you identify with something that people are criticizing, then maybe they're not criticizing you. And look, I will own that. But sorry, I clicked on the hidden replies there for a minute. I wanted to see what she hid, which essentially it but this is the mentality. This is the mentality that it's okay for someone who's got how many followers? 23,000 followers to literally just build the straw man version and attack it. Anyway, that was a tangent. I wasn't going to go on, but I kind of had to. After all that. I have not actually watched this whole video yet. It's only 17 seconds. Hey, we got Cool Frog over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome and peace, brother. Cheers. All right. I have not watched this whole video, but I already knew from the caption that I would have thoughts on it. So let's watch this.
Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Now go please find me a man who's only dating a woman for her personality. Like, that's the only thing he's talking about. Like, oh my God, she has the most wonderful personality. And that is why I chose to date her. Like, please go find me that man. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Now go.
Wait, what? That's why I chose to date here.
Like, please go find me that man.
Okay, so let me address something she said. Look, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm in love with someone who considers herself a Democrat, right? She's left wing. We don't have a fucking thing in common. But her personality is fucking amazing. And she's very selfless, very caring, very giving. I consider her misguided in a lot of areas politically. We don't talk politics. We talk about our own involvement in our communities, and she's supportive of what I do for my community, and I'm supportive of what she does for her community. But, I am literally with her because she's got an awesome personality. We are so fucking compatible in a lot of ways. Now, granted, this woman says, find me a guy who's only with a woman for her personality. Cookie says, you faithful, mild. Yes, I am faithful. Now, granted, my definition of faithful and your definition of faithful might be two different things, as I have said before on the show. But anyway, this woman here, again, this misnomer of only for a personality. No, I mean, that literally would be a friendship, right? If you're with somebody for their personality and there's no romance, no attraction, no shared life goals, no nothing, just personality. I mean, you might as well be listening to a podcast. So again, it's a question. It's begging the question, right? It's the logical fallacy of begging the question. Wow, are we really 44 minutes into the show already? Holy shit! I need to motor with some of these stories. All right, let's keep going through these. Let's keep going through these videos. Okay, so we're gonna have back-to-back videos here. I want to talk about them in context to each other. So here's a woman talking about the men she's been dating and how honest they are.
Does height matter?
Yeah, it does. Basically, in our flat now, we've marked where 6 foot is. So if ever me and my flatmates, I'm not joking, bring boys back,
We measured them, and so far they've all lied. This one guy said 6 foot and he was 5'10". Other guy.
Okay, so she's literally so hung up with the 6 foot rule, right? This women won't date a guy under 6 foot. This woman is literally so hung up on it that she and her roommates have marked a spot on their wall so that when they bring guys home, and first off, are you being fucking honest? Like, are you sure you're using the correct fucking tape measure? And are you sure you trust your fucking roommates not to have marked it at 6'1" just to fuck with your love life? Cookie says, men lie about their height and women lie about their weight. And she doesn't want me to cuss. But yeah, are you sure your roommates have not tried to fuck with your love life by marking it at 6'1" just so that you would do this?
I said 6 foot, he was 5'11", but they just lie. So now, if they lie, they're out straight away.
What happens if they fail the test?
They go, they're sent out. I'm not joking, yeah. It's horrible, but I'm sorry, like, life is unfair. Women have to put up with a lot, so them being short is like something that they can have.
Does height matter?
Yeah, it does. Basically,
Okay, so yeah, they're out. They're out. She just kicks them out of the house. Like the date could be going amazing. Oh, look, you're shorter than that line. Get the fuck out. So again, Cookie says women lie about their weight. You know, imagine the fucking outrage. I mean, I guess there was a viral video a couple weeks ago where a guy's like, you know, telling women to get on the fucking scale. And they're, what? There was a viral video about that a couple weeks ago. Mild study showed women will date a tall bum male than a short doctor. Yeah, we talk about women's picker every week here on the show. Wait, this is not what I wanted to show. Hang on. Where did that other clip go? Here it is. Okay, so here's the other half of the clip, and this is the one I wanted to show last week. This is the one I meant to show last week. So last week's video title has to do with this one. So speaking of liars, let's listen to this woman. Now, I love this woman's honesty here. Check this out.
I actually just don't understand men and how their brains work sometimes, because today I was just minding my own business and this guy comes up to me and he's like, I just wanted to say that you are so elegant. You are such a natural beauty.
Natural beauty. A guy came up to this woman and told her she had natural beauty. I want you to think long and hard about the word natural really fucking means. Because unlike a guy being naturally 6 foot, right? Like the last chick. Imagine if a guy went into that last chick's apartment wearing fucking those old Skechers that had the curved fucking bottom that were like this fucking thick, right? Wearing those big walking shoes that were a fad about 8 years ago, the big thick things, you know what I'm talking about? And then considering that natural. Okay, so let's listen to this woman's explanation and her honesty here. This is amazing. And guys, you got to quit doing this. You got to quit calling women a natural fucking beauty. Cuz she's calling you stupid here. And
yeah, I think that a woman can take one look at me and be like, that's fake. My jawline cost $10,000. Okay. My lips are clearly fucking done. My hair is $2,000. My lashes are $200 every 2 weeks. I don't understand. This is how much I can raise my eyebrows.
barely move.
And for some reason, and I get it all the time, men are like, you really I have enough makeup on to season a fucking wok. And men are just like, you are just, they don't make them like you these days. Yes, they do. They make him down at fucking Mattie's Medi Spa, okay, with a needle and a fucking scalpel. I actually just don't.
Okay, so that's the So the honesty though. But why? But why? Women can have natural beauty. But you can't fucking stand to look at yourself in the mirror. Right? You have to compete. It's all part of the same competition. All right. Cookie, stay tuned. We're going to listen to this chick.
Okay, I am the problem. I went on a date with this guy and he was like, it's getting late. Do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, that's totally fine. Just come over. And I was like, cool. So I go to his place. He respects my wishes. He's so nice. He cuddles me all night. And I'm like, are you gay?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Gay.
And like, I
agree. He was
I just
gay.
wanted him to like try, and then for me to be like, no, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you wanted him to attempt to sexually assault you after you already told him no? Like, legitimately. You wanted him to sexually assault you after you already told him no. This is literally... Cool Frog says, daddy issues. They don't look like that. They look like their dads. Yes. This is why I highly advise like swimming pools as a good first date. Theme parks, places where they're going to be sweating or crying. Cookie says, yes, mild. Women like men to take charge. But again, this idea that she can tell a guy no, right? Tell a guy it's not gonna happen and then still expect him to try, knowing, like, even though she has her mind made up that she's gonna shut him down. We are told that constantly by feminists that men are dangerous, that, pick the bear, choose the bear over the man. And yet this woman still expected the man to try and lost respect for him and called him gay because he didn't show the predator within him. The mental illness of the trauma of... says no, but want him to say, come here, woman. I mean, it is true. There is something to this. Women will lose a little bit of respect for you, but at the same time, do not do this. Do not fall for this gentleman. Because there's also the little part of her deep down, these women who've been traumatized, these women who have these conflicting emotions within them, the little bit of crazy, they also want to be the victim and want the attention they will get once these kinds of things happen. This is a lose-lose scenario, fellas, and the best thing you could do is just let her think you're gay.
I wasn't gonna sleep with him. I just now I feel ugly.
Yeah, you are ugly. You are ugly deep inside.
This is what. Okay, I
am. The crazy ones, beware, guys. Yeah. And then, we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys because this woman's not on our ideal plate.
Do you understand why guys would have a problem with a woman with a high body count, though? Do you understand the logic behind it?
I think it's insecurity. That's where it comes from. I think it's insecurity. That's where it comes from.
Excellent.
Like, do they really want to have a woman that is just a virgin? Because she's not gonna.
No, we don't necessarily need a virgin, but it again. I've done this rant before. The body count thing is important because we want to be the best, right? And if you've had 50 guys, there's always that one guy, right? That one guy who was rough with you, who maybe was more well endowed, or that's going to be in your head. And we may not compare ourselves to that guy. We may not be jealous or anything, but like, you're constantly going to be thinking of that guy when you're with us. And we don't want that. The red pillars call that an alpha widow. Like, you've already been with an alpha guy who did not want to wife you up. and you had to move on and find a guy who would wife you up, and that's us, right? That's us, the average guy, hard worker, got a good job, willing to be a provider. We wife you up, and your brain's always thinking about that hot guy you once fucked. We don't want that. That's why we don't want you to have had sex with 300 guys. We want to be the best you've ever had. While I know I'm not the best guitar player, right? I at least want to know that the people I play guitar for are enjoying the sound of my guitar. I know I will never be Eddie Van Halen or Joe Satriani on guitar. I don't need to be as good at sex as the most fucking buff porn star, right? I don't need to be the hottest naked guy you've ever seen. But I also want to know that when you're in that moment with me, you're in that moment with me and not thinking about the one alpha fucking Chad who pumped you and dumped you. That's the importance of body count. Anyway,
Be good, and she's gonna have no experience.
They don't need
and-
you to be good though.
That's so boring. Isn't that
It's not boring.
That's so boring.
I'll tell you what,
That's
it's not
so
boring.
it just sounds transactional to me. It just sounds so boring. I don't know.
Guys that are alpha guys that are, want to be, head of households and consider themselves leaders and want to, provide for their women, and they don't find it
you're
unattractive
not
that a
Eddie.
woman may
I
have
must unfollow now.
inexperience,
Yeah.
because they feel like, what's going to make that experience in the bedroom so powerful is not that she can bounce off the walls or knows all these tricks or knows all these sexual things and look, she's doing something like out of a that's not what's appealing to them. What's appealing is that she's really excited to be there for him.
Yes.
She's present. She's
And what she's saying is a good point. Okay, because when I kind of said he wants to be the best, well, no, he doesn't necessarily have to be the best, but he has to be good enough to her that she's in that moment with him enjoying herself. Period.
loyal. She's committed, and he doesn't need her to be an acrobat. He just needs her to be loyal.
There you go. There you go, ladies. I mean, that's the simplest explanation you could have for the body count question. It's not about the bodies. It's not about somehow extra penises have ruined you. It's we want, at least in the moment, monogamy to be on your mind. All right, folks, it's that time once again. It is that time once again. It is Wednesday, so it is time for the gender crazy of the week. But we're going to start with a gender sanity of the week. Right now on Twitter, you go on Twitter. Marry that poor woman already? No, because here's the thing. Marriage is a government institution, right? Our commitment is not bound by the government. We are committed to each other. We don't call it marriage. And we don't need marriage. Cookie's going to have to leave in a minute now that we're doing the gender sanity of the week. But anyway, like I was saying, right now, if you go over on X, the algorithm is going fucking apeshit over this story. And being a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, I would be amiss if I did not at least comment on this. I have not actually watched the full video of Harrison Butker's commencement speech that he gave at, what was the college name? Benedictine College on May 11th. So I have not actually watched this whole video yet, but it's literally all over my Twitter feed. And not just the people I'm following. Twitter is recommending, XX has algorithmed in, because I guess because I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan and a fan of these kinds of issues, like they're really pumping me with just random people talking about this. I scroll through my Twitter feed. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? And it's all literally just because people put the name Harrison Butker. So this is the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, place kicker. Kansas City Chiefs place kicker Harrison Butker gave this commencement speech, and now the internet is losing their fucking minds. And there's now a petition on change.org for the Kansas City Chiefs to cancel this man. The internet wants this man to lose his job for the comments you are about to hear. And like I said, I'm finally going to hear the full context myself.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career?
Cheers. Cheers to
Some
that.
of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife,
as soon as he
Isabel,
said that, a
would be
baby
the
started
first to
crying.
say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important lessons that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders.
Now, again, I want to point out this is a Benedictine college, right? There are religious aspects to these people's education. This isn't just, oh my God, he said something political. No, he said something religious to religious people in essentially a religious institution.
Who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith,
Yes.
but at the same time is delusional enough to make the
Show
sign of
me the
cross
lie.
during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice.
Show me the lie. Why is this resulting in him being canceled? Why is this calling for his job? Now, we still got a minute and a half left. Not even a minute and a half. Less than a minute left of this.
The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, DEI. Here
We
we
fear
go.
speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. I am certain the reporters at the AP could not have imagined that their attempt to rebuke and embarrass places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him.
He said nothing. He said nothing vindictive or hateful. He mentioned that the president claims to be Catholic and pro-life and how he thought that was a contradiction. And then he mentioned the difference between pride and pride. None of that was an insult. None of that was to slam anybody. It was a criticism, but none of it was a criticism of our society. So again, I might have to get a Harrison Butker jersey. I do hear that the players get a revenue share. Let's continue with the gender crazy of the week. This is from Libs of TikTok. Let's hear what this clearly sane looking individual has to say with the whole sticker here, trans women are women.
This Mother's Day is especially significant for me because it's the first Mother's Day that I am celebrating since coming out as trans.
Oh, it's Mother's Day. Oh, yes. And by the way, a quick show note. I meant to do a show on Monday. I was going to try to do some research into some good, spicy single mothers with bad behavior. That show's still going to come. I got really busy on Sunday and got sort of sidetracked. We've had some bad weather. I had to mow my lawn, all kinds of craziness. But that show is still coming. I'm gonna keep an eye out down on my Twitter and my Facebook and my locals. I will announce when I'm gonna do that show. It's going to be a bonus show. I try to do a bonus show for the holidays. I didn't get to it on Mother's Day, but we will get to it sometime between now and Memorial Day. I will do the Now You're a Single Mom show.
Starting HRT. So it's kind of special.
Celebrating Mother's Day
church
on
this Sunday morning,
HRT.
They gave all the moms carnations and letters saying Happy Mother's Day, and I was happy to be a recipient of one of those.
Oh, really?
I took it home and showed my daughter, and who is 8, and she said, "But you're not a mom."
Uh-oh. 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 Your daughter shouldn't be a kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, I guess.
I said, "Well, yes, I am." She said, "No, you're not." And the reason she said that is because
yeah, you've
my
never.
wife doesn't allow her to call me mom.
Well,
I'm
there you
known
go.
as parent.
Parent, yes, because you've not carried a child in a uterus, right? You've not had a womb. I'm sorry. And yes, I know there's going to be a million hateful comments somewhere on the internet of someone saying, well, there are lots of adopted moms. There are lots of people that you would call mom who may not have carried someone in their uterus. But there's something, when you say adopted mom, you're adding an adjective to that, right? You're not a mom, you're an adopted mom. And if you have a daughter, I'm assuming that daughter was created through your sperm as a man. No, Cookie, this is not. And Cookie's right. Hit the like button. I'll go ahead and throw the banner up here. Click the like button.
So not dad, not mom.
Again,
just
good
parent,
seeing you,
which
Cookie. If you
seems
have to
kind of,
leave,
makes me sad. I wish she would call me mom, but she doesn't. So I said to her, "Well, I'm a mom, whether you acknowledge that or not. I am still a mom."
okay. So again, this is part of the issue right here. Is I will call myself whatever you want, whether other people acknowledge it or not. And to me, this is one of the big issues with the community here. Is it's the demand. It's the demand that other people participate in the false realities that they have set for themselves. No, feel free to call yourself whatever you want. Call yourself a dragon. I don't care. And this person says, okay, well, you don't want to call me mom. I'm going to call myself mom. Sure. Sure. But the fact that you came to your daughter with this in the first place and we're showing it off as a badge of pride. Cookie signing off. Sanglin86 says, Mom always said dating is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and then provide some personality disorder something quiz. We'll get to, speaking of personality disorders, we're going to get to that news here in a minute too.
And to all those who are going through a similar situation, I see you. You are valid. If you are trans female and have kids, you're a mom.
There's no such thing as a trans female. You're a trans woman.
Okay, so insist upon your identity. If you
again, you guys made the rules. There's a difference between gender and sex. Female is a sex. You cannot be trans female. The trans female is a trans man, and that would be, yeah. Anyway,
our mom, you are valid. That is who you are. And I hope things change for me.
What is that? What does that mean? You are valid, right? Like if I go to a parking garage, right, at the big entertainment complex here in Kansas City, if I go to a parking garage, right, and then I go eat somewhere at the entertainment complex, they will validate my parking. My parking is now valid and free. Right? Are you saying like what are you saying? Is Am I illegitimately parked if I don't get my parking validated? No, it just requires extra steps. So if I don't call you a woman, if I don't call you a mom, and it requires extra steps for you to think about, how is that invalid? I'm sorry. The analogy didn't really stick. Sorry, bad analogy. But anyway, call yourself what you want. I do not need to acknowledge it. F off. Yeah, cool frog. Exactly. But you like to use these words like valid. Well, what's invalid? What would invalid be in this context? You know, it's like when they say you deny me the right to exist. No, you exist. You unfortunately you are a reality in front of me. Unfortunately. You have a right to exist. You can exist all you want, but I don't have to confirm the fantasies you've made up about your existence.
But right now, that's just where my family is at. So, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all a happy
This person,
and love-filled Mother's Day.
in a compassionate way, right?
Take care, my friends.
In a compassionate way, this person does look really nervous to be posting stuff like this. And they look to be genuinely like socially awkward and in some way in need of their daughter's approval. This isn't the way to go about doing it. There are lots of ways to feel loved. Participating in what's essentially a Hollywood fad is not the way to do it. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. We've got three more stories here in the Gender Crazy of the Week. Let's watch this video here. Let's see this person.
You can either
what the
my
fuck?
trans homies or I.
What the fuck? Your trans homies. Respect your again with the language abuse here. Respect. Why do I have to respect them? Do they respect me? Do they command respect in some sort of, authoritative way? You know, if I put on a dress and dye my hair fucking red, does that mean I command respect? What the fuck? And what the fuck? What the fuck with the scary fucking look? With the makeup and the goddamn.
I can identify as a fucking problem, and if I.
Yeah, you don't have to identify as a fucking problem. You literally already are. Right? That doesn't have to be a gender identity. You already exist as that. If I catch your
bitch ass being disrespectful, your pronouns are going to be was, were.
Oh, ha 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 ha. Yeah. People have been making that joke for 3 fucking years now. Get some original material.
Thank you for coming and have a nice day.
And by the way, brush your fucking yellow ass teeth. And I will say that as a fucking hypocrite because I know my dental hygiene is not always the goddamn best. You know, I fucking vape. Sure, my teeth are fucking yellow stained from fucking caffeine and shit. But come on. Were. Okay. All right, that's enough of the craziness. Now we have, some more gender sanity of the week. Oh, wait, what the fuck just happened? The main character from the drag movie Mimi tried to replace Rocky Horror with. Yes. Mimi. So in the back to gender sanity of the week, we have the New York Post here. Peru classifies transgender, non-binary, and intersex people as mentally ill. The Peruvian government has officially classified gender, non-binary, and intersex people as mentally ill. The controversial decision. Oh, I clicked something. Was made to ensure the public health services could guarantee full coverage of medical attention for mental health for the trans community. The Peruvian Mental Health Ministry explained according to Telegraph. The decree was supposed to supposedly alter the language in the Essentials Health Insurance Plan to reflect that trans people and intersex people have a mental disorder, Pink News reported. Despite the change, they will not be forced to undergo conversion therapies. Well, okay. Activist groups across Peru, however, slammed the decision as a major step backward in the fight for rights and safety. 100 years after the decriminalization of homosexuality, Minsa Peru has nothing better to do than include trans people in the category of mental illnesses. So yeah, I said this was a win, and Cool Frog says based as fuck. But again, that up there it said they just did this so they could get mental health services. We demand and we will not rest until it's repealed. Percy Mesa Tristán, a medical researcher at Lima Scientific University of the South, told the Telegraph that the decision showed a lack of awareness around the complexity of LGBTQ plus issues. You can't ignore the context that this is happening in a super conservative society where LGBTQ community has no rights and where labeling them as mentally ill opens the door to conversion therapy, he explained. I mean, I have some thoughts. And yeah, Peru may be based in a way for doing this, but if they're not taking that other step of saying, okay, we're going to offer you the treatments that labeling you mentally ill will provide. No, we're just going to give you treatments that any other mentally ill person could have in case you're trans and mentally ill. Like that's not necessarily the win I thought it would be. But, they're saying, no conversion therapy. And I'm not necessarily advocating for conversion therapy. Let me be clear on that. I'm not necessarily advocating for that. But it's like here in the United States, certain providers of this kind of medical treatment would recommend you go see a mental health professional first so that you're aware of what you're doing. You're aware of the societal changes you're making. And I think that's the step Peru's trying to make here. But they just don't like the fucking word mentally ill, right? For the same group of fucking and again, they're Peruvian, so they're not as much into the Western culture as we see on a daily basis here in America. But you use the R word on Twitter, you'll have people call you ableist. And for them to be so offended at the word mentally ill, oh, how dare you call us mentally ill, really speaks volumes. Okay, the last story of the day. The Sacramento Bee. A teacher refused to use preferred pronouns and was fired, lawsuit says. Now the district owes. A California school district has agreed to settle with one of its former teachers more than a year after she filed a lawsuit over her firing, which she argues was over religious beliefs, the teacher's attorneys say. A California school district settled lawsuit. The Jurupa Unified School District in Riverside County, assuming California, agreed to pay $360,000 to Jessica Tapia. Her attorneys at Advocates for Faith and Freedom said in a May 14 news release. The settlement closes a federal lawsuit she filed last May that alleged the district's decision to fire her violated her civil and First Amendment rights, according to the lawsuit. The violations in part stemmed from her refusal to call students by their preferred pronouns, along with her concern about not revealing students' gender identities to parents, the lawsuit said. Today's settlement serves as a reminder that religious freedom is protected no matter what your career, Julianne Fleischer, one of the attorneys, said in the release. While the district approved the settlement May 13th, it has, quote, not admitted to any fault or wrongdoing, Jacqueline Paul, a spokesperson for the district, said in an emailed statement to McClatchy News. The decision to settle this case was made in conjunction with the district's self-insurance authority and in the best interest of the students, such that the district can continue to dedicate all of its resources and efforts to educate and support its student population regardless of their protected class, Paul said. I guess there were social media posts. I'm not going to read this whole thing. But this goes to show that school districts, right? Your government funded school districts, your taxpayer dollars, they would rather spend $360,000 to settle a lawsuit so that they can continue the LGBTQ crap in school and fire the teachers who might object. They could continue the pronoun madness in a school and pay $360,000 to get rid of the teachers who object. If I was a parent in Sacramento, I would be. If I was a taxpayer in Sacramento, I would be pissed right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the show for today. As I said, I'm going to try to see if I can't afford myself a Harrison Butker jersey, even though I've been spending way too much money on comic books. You see, I got Matt Wagner's Trinity there. I got some. I found a new local comic shop in Kansas City that's got a lot of the prestige. They get a lot of prestige issues. So I got Tenses 1 and 2. I got Robin 3000 1 and 2. Little prestige miniseries. So I've got a huge stack to read, starting with all of this, and I got All-Star Superman up there. I'm in the middle of. So I'm going to have plenty of stuff to review when I finally do a comic review stream, which should be soon. Anyway, so that's going to be the show for today. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Good seeing y'all. Cool Frog, Sanglant, Cookie, Great Liquor. Good having y'all by. And cheers to everyone who's watching on demand or not participating in the chat. Cheers to everyone out there. Good seeing you. Please take a moment, click that like button, click that thumbs up. If you're new here, please follow. Please share this on other platforms. And also, if you're new here, please watch a second video on my channel. The algorithms really love it when you do those three things. And I could definitely use all the algorithmic help I can get. In fact, I think I'm just going to keep typing Harrison Butker into Twitter for the rest of the night so that I can hit some algorithm at some point. Although I will say, what was that? Damn it. One of my favorite Twitter accounts, Women Being Awful, had this post where they broke 100,000 followers. They got 100,000, and then I jokingly said, "Can I have a couple hundred?" And then they followed me back. That was awesome. The internet could use some Marvel 2099 reviews. I read like one issue of Spider-Man 2099. Well, no, wait a minute. Did they have a Punisher 29? I think I may have read some Punisher 2099 too. We got Talk with Sally in the chat. Oh, you came just in time. Got a little bit of whiskey left to cheers to Sally. I caught a few of Sally's live streams the last couple days. She's been killing it. And she said she's going to potentially teach me how to use Twitter Spaces. So cheers and welcome. Good seeing you. All right, that does it for the whiskey tonight. Yeah, everybody, have a wonderful night. I will catch you all Saturday, 6 p.m. Central. Same bat time, same bat channel, same place you're watching right now. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. Have a wonderful night. Catch y'all Saturday.